Welcome to a special edition of Studio 5. Her voice is central as a solo artist and a member of Jesus Culture. Kim Walker-Smith is here with us for the entire half hour. So let's get right to the countdown of the top 5 headlines in the world of uplifting entertainment. Here are the first 2. At number 5.
Well, it's been a week full of Harry and Meghan news, from the royal tell-all to their new California digs.
That royal tell-all is said to share an inside look at Meghan Markle's faith and how it's helped her through her darkest times.
The authors of Finding Freedom interviewed more than 100 sources, but some speculate they even spoke to Harry and Meghan themselves. Omid Scobie says that's not true.
Those interviewed for the book are quoted to say both Markle and Prince Harry are on a journey of faith together, and her relationship with God and with her church is extremely important to her. That's something most people don't know about her. It plays a central role in her life as an individual and as a woman. At number 4. Some signs of life returning to some movie theaters.
The pandemic's pounded movie theaters, but they're bouncing back in Canada, where the debut of the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, topped all comers over the weekend with $900,000 from a modest 300 locations.
We are pleased to inform you that you have been accepted at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
A Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone 4K 3D weekend reissue in China added nearly $14 million to its lifetime earnings, putting it within about $2 million from a total billion-dollar gross.
Well, that jumpstarts this week's countdown. We'll pick things back up at number 3 in just a little bit. Right now, it is time to begin our Studio 5 sit-down with singer, songwriter, and worship leader, as well as recording artist, Kim Walker-Smith. You know her voice from Jesus Culture, but she's also a solo artist with a fresh project to share. It's called Wild Heart. Here's just a sample of the music as we begin this great conversation.
I come out of agreement with the worry and the fear I've come to know. No, they won't have a hold on me. Protector, you never, never, never let me go. You said you wouldn't leave me and you won't. You're right by my side.
Wild Heart, tell me how that's come to be.
Well, we felt like it was time for another record. I think it'd been, three years, almost 4 years since On My Side released. And I'm a little bit, I'm the artist that I don't like to record solo records until I feel like I have a story to tell. I would say I gotta live some life before I start, making more songs.
I know that you fight for me. Protector, you never, never, never let me go.
I went back to Redding, California, to the theater that I did Still Believe in, and the theater I got married in, and made a live record. On My Side was in the studio, which was, completely different than normal, but this one was recorded live.
Your presence is my peace, my covering, my
This is kind of my coming out of the desert season kind of record.
If you could compare the two, Wild Heart and On My Side, they're quite different.
Oh yeah. So the studio, that was a completely different experience for me and not really a typical experience, because everything I'd done really was live, with the exception of the album I did with my husband years ago. And I just felt like the songs and the story kind of needed to be told in the studio. It was just way more intimate and personal. All of those songs came out of a really hard season when my father died, when I had gone through postpartum depression. I just had a lot of things going on. And this record, I wanted to go back to live because that's where I'm most comfortable. I felt like I kind of came out of the desert season with my arms swinging a little bit.
Okay.
Like ready to fight, you know, like ready, just a new outlook, but kind of a new fire inside of my soul, and just ready to kind of go after some things. And so this record, I wanted it to not only express life, which is why we got a lot of you see a lot of greenery and the plants and the trees and the forest and all of those things, but I also wanted it to express the nitty-gritty a little bit. That's why I said we need some dirt in there.
Yeah.
The nitty-gritty of life. And I really I came out feeling like my faith was really renewed and stirred, and that's what I wanted this album to do for others. These songs, I wanted it to kind of stir and renew our faith and our trust in God, our hope in God, which is really funny because I obviously had no idea what we were heading into with this pandemic, like how much I would need that faith and that trust and that hope.
Yes.
It's a timely message for me as well.
Let that faith rise up in us tonight as fear is broken up, as fear falls away, as worry is silenced at the sound of your name tonight, Jesus.
So much more to come with Kim Walker-Smith and this week's uplifting entertainment countdown. Stay with us.
Life. It's meant to be lived fully. Jesus said it. I came to give you life. Life to the fullest. Life in your family. Life in your finances. Life in your body, mind, and spirit. Life in your everyday. At CBN.com, we're taking what Jesus said seriously. We're here to help you discover life. Life. Live it fully. CBN.com.
Number 3.
Welcome to the 51st Annual GMA Dove Award nominee announcements.
And these faces, all familiar to Studio 5, are among the many nominees.
Zach Williams and For King and Country are each up for 5 Dove Awards this year. Just behind them, Hillsong Worship, Kirk Franklin, Lauren Daigle, and Jonathan Reynolds all up for 4 nominations. The Gospel Music Association announced the nominations Monday, and they also include several first-time nominees like Kanye West, who's up for 3 awards, including Rap Hip Hop Album of the Year for Jesus is King.
I want Jesus to walk with me.
The former queen of disco, Gloria Gaynor, was another first-time nominee.
Congratulations to all of the nominees that I announced, and even those who are coming before and after. Congratulations to you.
At number 2. Grammy-winning singer Kelly Rowland is speaking out against America's growing cancel culture. The former Destiny Child singer posted this message on Instagram. I am so grateful God never canceled me. We honestly don't have the space nor authority to. Hashtag stop trying to be God.
And welcome back to Studio 5. We've got one more story to share in this week's countdown. We'll get to it in just a little bit. Want to right now return to our conversation with Kim Walker-Smith. And as we do, let's sample another track from her Wild Heart project.
I have found breathing room. My soul can rest in you. No longer have to fight. The burdens are lifted. The weight is
I'd like to go through just a couple of the titles and get your thoughts on them and anything you can share. Let's begin with Breathing Room.
The fog has cleared away, and I stand uncovered, walk in your grace. My heart is wide open, my heart is wide open.
Well, this song, this is like the anthem of how I want to live my life, with my heart wide open to Jesus. And it's very easy at times when you get hurt or you get scared or you get offended, whatever it might be, to want to kind of close up your heart and kind of pull back and withdraw a little bit. But this song declares over and over, my heart is wide open. My heart is wide open. And to keep our hearts soft and vulnerable before the Lord, I think is not only necessary in following him, but I think this is actually how we experience freedom from whatever it is that we are carrying, whether it's the offense or the hurt or whatever, it is. Yeah. So the only way to freedom truly is coming with your heart wide open and soft to the Lord. This song also makes me have a little inside chuckle because it feels like the mom anthem. Currently, I need breathing room. I am trapped at home with my children. I need some breathing room. And so every time I hear it, I have a little kind of inside chuckle. I'm like, this song has a double meaning for me.
I love it. I love it. Simple Days.
Simple Days. For me, is a song of repentance. It's a song of just saying, I want to return to the simplicity of the gospel of Jesus. I don't want it to be so complicated, and sometimes we make it so complicated. And there's also, I have a tendency to be so independent and kind of this, I can do it, and try to do things on my own, which is not always the best thing, and relying on my strength more than the Lord's. And this song is honestly just a repentance of, I'm sorry that I've tried to do it on my own, and I don't want to do it on my own anymore. And there's one verse that I really love that says, you saved me from the mess I made. And that was a huge revelation for me through the last seasons I've walked through, of realizing even when I am responsible for the mess, like there's times that we find ourselves in a mess that was not our making. You know, it's things that have happened to us that we don't have control over. But there are times that we find ourselves in a mess because we made poor choices, or we just, we didn't obey, or whatever it is. And that he still is a loving father that comes into that mess and pulls me from that mess. And I think I had some sort of idea in my head that maybe I needed to be punished, or he wanted to leave me in that to teach me a lesson or something like that. But instead I encountered a father who still saves me from the mess that I made for myself. So this song is just honestly just, well, very honest and very repentant, I guess. I love that.
More and more conversation is ahead with Kim Walker-Smith. Stay with us. You are watching Studio 5. Thank you so much for your company. Now, as we do go to break, it is a great time to share this week's story in pictures. Here's this week's Studio 5 snapshot.
I wanted to show a video that I overcame that, and I'm in a better space now.
She goes by only one name, that's singer and actress Brandy, who's out with new music. And she's opening up in a People magazine exclusive about her struggles with depression during her more than 2 decades-long career, and how Faith and her daughter helped to pull her out. That honesty and candor is why the 41-year-old entertainer is this week's Studio 5 Snapshot.
Watch breaking news, in-depth exclusive stories and programs from health to entertainment you won't find anywhere else. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. Enjoy credible news reporting from around the world. Discover inspiring programs and stories of hope, all in one place from a Christian perspective. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. To watch the CBN News Channel, download the app or visit cbnnewschannel.com.
Hello, I'm Dr. David Perlmutter, board-certified neurologist and #1 New York Times best-selling author. Wouldn't it be great to boost your energy, eliminate brain fog, and even reverse brain disease? Well, you can, and I'm going to show you how, along with some of the world's most well-respected brain experts in this DVD, Protect Your Brain.
Get Protect Your Brain, a free DVD only from the Christian Broadcasting Network, featuring experts on the cutting edge of neuroscience and brain health.
No matter how many times you've failed in the past, you really can do this.
In Protect Your Brain, you'll discover simple strategies to keep your brain young and healthy. Improve your memory. Discover the gut-brain connection. In Protect Your Brain. Get your free copy at cbn.com or call 1-800-700-7000.
If you want to improve the quality of your life, get the DVD Protect Your Brain and get it today.
And welcome back to this special edition of Studio 5. Kim Walker-Smith is our guest the entire show. We're sampling her latest and getting the story behind it. Take a listen to You'll Always Be as we continue our chat.
You've held me close on dark nights. You calmed me down when nothing could. For every time I felt alone.
If you could, take me back to the day of the live recording. What was happening? What do you remember?
You've always been, and you'll always be, the God who gives such perfect peace. So
Yeah. Okay, so we found this guy named Eric, who is a friend of my producer's, who's just like a creative genius. Like he can just build and create anything. And he literally, I had expressed my vision for the stage, and that morning they had gone out and harvested moss from a creek. He had a eucalyptus tree on his property that was needing to be chopped down. Part of it had died, and so it needed to come down. And then he brought in the tree. He was in super early that morning, building and decorating the stage. And every single, when you watch the live videos, you see just tons of greenery everywhere. Nothing on that stage is fake. Every single piece of greenery you see on that stage is alive and real. He created this out of chicken wire and wet soaked cardboard so that everything was like in water so it'd stay fresh and for the whole thing, you know? And then he put the moss everywhere. The whole theater smelled so strongly of eucalyptus. It was incredible. It smelled so good in there. I was like, this is the best worship experience ever.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. 'Cause everything gives way when I speak your name. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. 'Cause everything gives way when I speak your name.
It was like really busy through rehearsals. You could feel everyone was a little tense because I think we all felt like, is this too soon? Is this too soon? And I had shared with them what I felt like the Lord was saying. And I have such an incredible team. They were all just 100% behind me, and we're like, okay, well, we're gonna do this. We're gonna knock it out of the park for you, Kim. We're gonna hit all the right chords. We're gonna do it. So we're plowing through rehearsals, and even though I would say our emotions were a little like, you know, like this, everything went so smooth and so easy. Even my kids were just like running around the theater, and even they were just like happy. It was just a good day. You know, if you have kids, you know, some days are just not good days. And I was like, please, dear God, let this be a good day. And it was. We were just so happy, and it was great, and it was really special. Right before I went on stage, my husband gave me a card and some flowers. That was just remembering how special the theater is. This is where we got married, and just kind of sharing a special moment with me. One of the songwriters flew in from LA with his wife and his new baby just to be there for the recording, a really good friend of mine. It was just, it was so special. And honestly, when I walked up on the stage, I just felt the nearness of God, and I felt his pleasure, and I also felt this like stirring in me to just go after something. So it was good. It was an incredible night. There were people from, at the end of the night, I was asking, did anyone come from out of town? Almost everyone came from out of town. There were so many people there. There's a huge group from New York, which I was amazed that they came all the way from New York just for the recording. And they were the loudest worshipers in the room. I loved them. There was a group from Chicago, from Arizona, Colorado, Idaho. I mean, they just came from all over. It felt like family.
We have more with Kim Walker-Smith in just a moment, but now is a good time to share this week's #1 story in our uplifting entertainment countdown.
At number 1.
I'm drowning, lost in this world with these waves.
New music from rapper Lecrae this week. The project is called Restoration. But this isn't just music. It's a real-life personal transformation.
It's easy to look at my situation and believe I have more than enough. I have industry success, album awards, chart-topping singles, videos. I stand in front of thousands consistently. I've met numerous people, all valuable, from names in the culture to those who the world doesn't know. I have a successful business, more than enough house to live in, well-to-do lifestyle, beautiful, kind, gracious wife, children I live for, friends and family that hold me down. But what if I told you at one time it was impossible for my soul to hold these gifts from God?
Remember for a moment what it was like to be a child. You believed every story you were told. You saw a world full of endless possibilities. What stories will the world's orphaned and at-risk children believe? We believe the Bible tells the only story truly worth believing. We believe that every child should have the opportunity to dream, the chance to take challenges and turn them into possibilities, the chance to stand on the promises of God, to recognize their place in the greatest story ever told. They have their whole lives ahead of them. Theirs is a world of endless possibilities. They are looking for a story to believe. We will tell them that story. Will you join us?
Welcome back to Studio 5. Kim Walker-Smith is our special guest, and naturally, it is her project, Wild Heart, providing the soundtrack for this show and our conversation as well. As for what's playing in my ear, we thought we'd share this sample of Stones. That is Stones from Kim Walker-Smith. We've got a final word from her in just a little bit. But first, let's take a quick moment to look ahead and see what's coming your way next week.
An emotional look at mental illness.
Calm down, son. Calm down.
And months when we found out. I have schizophrenia, a chronic mental disorder, allowing for visual and auditory hallucinations. Never normal.
Studio 5 goes behind the scenes of the film Words on Bathroom Walls.
Mental health, I think, is one of those things that, you know, should be talked about much more than it is. And I think a lot of the reason for that is because people don't really know how to talk about it.
You know, when I first met you, I thought maybe he's just awkward and unsocialized, but that's not it. There's something else.
I don't know what to say to that.
I'll crack you, Petroselli.
We are so looking forward to bringing you that story and much more next week. As for the final word for this show, we want to return to our conversation with Kim Walker-Smith.
The longer I pray, the stronger the pain, the stronger my faith grows, the higher the need, the higher.
And of course, I can't let you go without asking about the title track, Wild Heart. Why did you decide to call it that?
So, I decided to call the project Wild Heart because I felt like this sums up what I have learned of God's heart in this last season. That I cannot box in his love. I cannot contain it. I can't even always describe it. He just, right when I think I've got him figured out, he just goes outside the lines and shows me a new perspective of who he is. And I feel like I'm just always on the chase. I'm always just chasing down that wild heart of our Father to understand it more, to see it more. And I feel like it also kind of expresses my relationship with the Father, that it's, it feels wild. And it feels a little crazy sometimes, this journey I'm on with him. And I also feel like this is kind of my heart. I have this wild abandon in worship where I just do not hold anything back from him. And I have fought to really bring my whole self and bring my whole heart completely unrestricted to him. And I think that is the essence of a wild heart, that you're just completely given. And so I just felt like, and also the song Wild Heart is, it's about the prodigal son coming home and how the lengths that God will go to show his love and to find us, which I think sums up the majority of the project. So.
I will praise you. Something in me has. I won't let the stones cry. I won't let the stones cry out.
Kim Walker-Smith, thank you so much for being so generous with your time and staying with us for the entire show. That is a great final word for this edition of Studio 5 and this week's look at uplifting entertainment. Until next time, make time to uplift someone around you, and then please come on back and see where Studio 5 takes you next week. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you so much for watching.